Hi, huge movie fanatic. Continuing my December 2015 movie reviews with an actual new movie that's, I think, basically still out in the theater. Review for a movie called The Peanuts Movie. Now, some of you people might wonder why such a, you know, macho man saw the Peanuts movie. Well, it's because I'm old enough where I really grew up with, the Peanuts and Charlie Brown and stuff like that. I mean, I grew up with, Charlie Brown Christmas, It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, whatever, Thanksgiving, all kinds of other Charlie Brown, this and that. And I really liked Charlie Brown growing up, and as a result, I kind of still have a soft spot for Charlie Brown. I mean, I've said it before that I think one of my all-time favorite Christmas albums is the Vince Guaraldi Charlie Brown Christmas album. It's just the smooth-ass jazz Christmas themes and all this kind of stuff. So I've always been a fan of, in particular, I reviewed it, I think, last year, the Charlie Brown Christmas, it's Christmas, whatever the hell, Charlie Brown Christmas special and Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, all this kind of stuff. So, obviously when the wind, how do you say it? We'll just say when the word arrived that they were going to do like a, contemporary modern, like CG, if you will, new Charlie Brown movie, I was like, oh man, oh great, now they're gonna, because Charlie Brown and the really, I don't think it was ever in the theater. I mean, if it was, it wasn't for a long time, and it's just kind of like, it was kind of cool how like the modern day, movie makers, quote unquote, never screwed up or tinkered with Charlie Brown, probably for legal reasons or whatever. And then when that news came out about a Peanuts movie, I was like, at first I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, and I was just like, I didn't know what to think, I was just like, oh great, now they can. Oh, well, I probably shouldn't swear in the review for like, I'll probably bleep that. I probably shouldn't swear in a review for like a G-rated movie. So maybe I won't. So that, I bleeped that. That was a swear word. So I'm not going to swear anymore for this review because it's a review of a G-rated movie. So on with the review. So, and then I was really worried about, obviously, current Hollywood doing this movie, taking this movie on. And then, we actually saw like a teaser and we saw what the characters are going to look like, and it was just like, oh wow. And I think as were a lot of people were impressed by the way, I guess, basically is using computer generated effects to, recreate in a 21st century version of the original, animation from the 60s and stuff. I thought was really cool, and I had hopes for it. Long story short, I saw the Peanuts movie at a matinee for the cheapest I possibly could. And I gotta tell you, long story short, it was probably a titch worse than I had hoped for. I actually had some hope for it. I mean, obviously in all the trailers I saw, the best thing I can say about the movie is the animation. I mean, it couldn't be more faithful to the animation and the style of the original like 60s cartoons. I mean, I'll absolutely applaud whoever was involved in, doing the computerized, 3D is in terms of like computer animation and recreating the Peanuts world in the computer. I mean, hats off to whoever did that, because it's perfect, and this is coming from an anal who grew up with this stuff and knows what he's talking about. Oh shoot, I swore again. Well, it's not as bad as, okay. Anyway, potty mouth in the house. So that's the best thing about this movie is, of course, the very paying attention and very, humbly honoring the traditions of like the original. I don't know if the cartoons were probably, if the first ones were in the 60s, probably, I don't know. But at any rate, the 60s ones like Christmas and Charlie Brown, or Christmas and Great Pumpkin and stuff, are the ones that I've probably seen the most of and stuff like that. So the animation style is perfect, perfectly perfect for, it honors the tradition. You know what I'm saying. I can't find the perfect words to say it, but the animation is spot on. We'll just say that, okay? But that being said, and I hate people who actually say that being said, and I just said that, so that being said, I hate people who say that, but I can't believe I said that. So, having said that, I will continue the review. So, oh shoot, I just swore again. Golly darn it. So anyway, since I've got more gripes with this movie than I've got positives, I said the only positive, which was the animation and stuff is spot on. I think a lot of the voices were perfect. In particular, Linus's, the kid they got to do Linus's voice was perfect, kind of like this lisp thing or whatever, Linus. But that brings me to one of my complaints, which is what the hell, where the heck was Linus throughout this whole movie? Linus is like Charlie's confidant, you know, good guy who's always hanging around, always dragging a blanket. There was way too little Linus and maybe way too much Snoopy in the movie. I mean, you can't. I mean, can you have too much Snoopy? I don't know. That's anyone's. I don't know. That's anyone's opinion. I would have liked to have traded out at the end of the day a little Snoopy for a little more Linus. I've always loved Linus. And also my problem with the movie is like it's like a almost 90-minute movie or whatever. And there was only one part at the very end where they were on a brick wall, but maybe in retrospect that was something they did for the end. I can't remember, but they weren't. Linus and Charlie Brown, you know, should have probably been on that brick wall, leaning against it, talking at least 3 times in the movie, beginning, middle, end, something like that. Not just the end, you know, for a feature, but whatever. So I've got mostly gripes. Not enough Linus, too much Lucy. Not enough brick wall talks. It's cool that they did the Lucy's, you know, the psychiatrist is in the little booth, which I maybe would have done twice. I can't remember how many times they did it in the movie. Basically, the whole movie, obviously, if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't, is centered around the arrival of a new kid who turns out to be the what they call little red-haired girl, I think, in this movie, which I think was always the red-headed girl. If memory serves, I don't quite understand why they changed the name. Probably to do with some PC bull. Oh, shoot. Probably to do with some PC nonsense. But the little red-headed girl is in this movie called the little red-haired girl, and the whole movie is based around her just moving into town, like across the street from Charlie Brown, and him just becoming just amazingly lustfully, insanely lustful, we'll just say in love or whatever the hell, you know, as he is in Charlie Brown lore with the little red, I'm going to call her the little red-headed girl because I think that's what she was always known as. Also another no-no, just like with the, you know, Sylvester Stallone version of the movie Judge Dredd. I think we see at the end of the movie, or maybe even before the end of the movie, we see the little red-headed girl's face in this, which I think was never something that was done. I haven't seen every cartoon or every comic strip of Charlie Brown, but from what I can tell, I don't think we ever seen a little red-headed girl's face. We see her face full on at the end of the movie for sure, maybe even before that, and to be honest, she's not even that cute. Probably not even as cute as Lucy for that matter, which is funny that I think that a freaking circle with a couple eyes and a slit for a mouth is not cute, but just the way those slits were arranged on her circle were just cute as the way Lucy's slits were arranged on her circle. So at any rate, the whole movie is basically about Charlie Brown, you know, little red-headed girl's new kid in town, and him wanting, you know, him always being a bumbling idiot and, you know, thinks he has a fresh start with a red-headed girl and wants to make an impression, whatever, because he wants to, you know what, take her to the dance or whatever. So, long story short, Peanuts movie. Oh, another complaint about the movie in closing is I just, you know, one of my problems, you know, I generally don't see like current modern day like CG cartoons like Shrek and just all this, you know, Kung Fu Panda and all this crap, you know. When CG movies like Toy Story first came out, I was kind of liked them because they were new. you know. But over the years, seeing movies like Robots, and in particular just like all these nasty, so many of these like cartoon movies just got all these nasty characters and farts, and I'm not a big, you know, fart joke fan, or, you know, potty mouth humor just in cartoons, and just all these characters are bouncing off the walls, just being so like, just like ADD, just freaking insanity. So anyway, one of my biggest, probably my single biggest gripe with this movie is too much what I would refer to or regard as hijinks, you know, tomfoolery in this movie, with just all kinds of, just mostly I guess kind of with Snoopy and the freaking Woodstock and the Woodstock twins and stuff. Just tomfoolery nonsense. And in this movie, I can't remember, of course, also we have like, we see like, I don't know, 4 or 5, which I think is way too much. They have this like the side story with Snoopy, which is in World War I flying ace, and it's a story where he meets this girl dog, and can't remember if there was ever a girl dog in any of the Charlie Brown lore, but I found it to be a little trite and just whatever, and oh my gosh. You know, Charlie Brown's got to get the girl, so I guess Snoopy's got to get the girl too. I found it to be a little but that's one of the things I wanted to not forget to say, which is the, you know, the tomfoolery and all the, you know, just hijinks and just the, you know, overly ADHD, just all the just current 21st century cartoon nonsense that found its way into this movie. I was disappointed at that it was in there, and so much of it. I mean, I can understand a little bit of it, but maybe not so much. But long story short, being a Charlie Brown fan and a Peanuts fan, a lot of the Peanuts, you know, what was great about the Peanuts found its way into the movie, and a lot of them nods to, you know, past specials and stuff, and in terms of dance moves, and even certain lines were completely reused, and nods to the good old days and stuff. So what I find heartbreaking about this movie is that the animation is so spot on, and a little bit of the Charlie Brown soul is there, but it just, in you know, in this day and age in 2015, I mean, it was inevitable that, you know, the what I regard as the Charlie Brown, you know, just the humble Charlie Brown, you know, just quiet, good old, oh crap, I can't find my words, but you know, the good old quiet quaintness about Charlie Brown from the 60s was very much lost in the high speed, just hijinks, tomfoolery, just 21st century nonsense that often finds its way into these kid movies, where just to make kids laugh, just all this kind of nonsense happens, and high speed stuff that I can't even keep track of. You know, I gotta slow mo it to even know what's going on. So at the end of the day, you know, the great Charlie Brown, you know, whatever you want to call it, feeling of you know, years gone by, decades gone by, was kind of lost in the 21st century high speed hustle bustle nonsense. So with that, I will give the movie a rating of what did I give it? Yeah, we're gonna go with 1 3/4 stars out of 4 stars for the Peanuts movie. Maybe I just gotta see it, you know, in the comfort of my own home without like an audience. I don't know, but that's my initial impression of this movie. Just too high speed 21st century, you know, tomfoolery for my taste, and not enough actual, just, you know, great old Charlie Brown, and certainly not enough of Linus and stuff like that. In my opinion, too much of Snoopy. So thank you very much for watching my review of the Peanuts movie. It would be cool to see like a sequel, like if it went to, you know, since they did like a school year and over the winter and stuff, it'd be really cool to see a sequel where it went to summer camp. That would be fantastic, since I'm a summer camp, you know, aficionado and stuff like that, and the Peanuts aficionado. That would be really cool, and it really makes sense. And the end of the movie really segued into that, where the little red-headed girl was off to camp herself. So maybe Charlie Brown could ride on, you know, Snoopy's doghouse and follow her to camp and whatever, or just go himself or whatever. But that's probably what I would do with the sequel. You know, Charlie Brown goes to camp or something like that, and whatever. So, but in closing, one of the cool things about the movie is that they did find a way to, you know, pretty much, you know, really show everyone that you can really think of, you know, like Peppermint Patty and her glasses wearing friend, and it's kind of cool when Pigpen got like water splashed on him, and she's like, "Who are you?" and the naturally curly hair girl hair got straightened and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's not without funniness or good greatness, but all in all, it was a little less than I had hoped for being a Peanuts movie. So can't take those original, 1960s Charlie Brown specials away from me unless you take them away from me. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.